while we are close to the Olympic trials, we are still a few weeks out. So making sure that they're not putting in too big of an effort and being able to go out, run strong, but also keep some in the tank.
There they go. We'll find out what's afoot soon with the Bowerman Track Club Red Lightning. We're chasing the guys down here, starting in alleys. You don't see that too often here.
No, it's always interesting whether you're going to start in alleys or waterfall, but trying to make sure when you've got a lot of people on the track, as we do in this race, that people aren't going to get tied up.
Woody going up there, most famous for being the king monster of the forest in the Portland 5000 that we filmed The Hunt off of, actually. If you haven't seen The Hunt, go to YouTube and watch that on the Tracklandia channel, because it's a brilliant film put together by the talented filmmaker R.J. McNichols around Woody's 12:58 performance on the Nike track in the woods, and then Lopez Lamong and Matt Centrowitz running 13 flat right behind him. But Woody, the only man to jump on the rabbit here.
Yeah, really trying to stay on that pace. We'll see if Kieran Tuntavate is going to come and catch up with him and make sure that they stay on this pace. Grant Fisher a little bit further back in the pack there.
Yeah, what's going on here?
This is an interesting day for these guys. That was a 63-second first lap.
And we know from experience, too, that Woody goes with the pace no matter what it is. That famous race at the U.S. Championships in 2019 when Paul Chelimo jumped out 57 seconds through the first quarter and Woody went right with him. Mm-hmm. And then the pace lagged to like 70s, and then they still closed in around 53, 54 to run 13:25. Mm-hmm. But Woody didn't hit the standard then.
Mm-hmm. I think, though, that's a mark of a good racer, of someone who's able to go out and kind of roll with whatever's thrown at them, that regardless of what the pace is going to be, they're going to stick with that front pack.
I like to say that Woody has a strong chin. If you're going off of boxer parlance, then he can take a lot of punches, and then he can deliver at the end of the race, too. He keeps coming back. He's like the Rocky of track and field.
Yeah, we see his teammate, Kieran Tuntavate, now catching up with him, closing that little bit of a gap, and then we have another gap to the rest of the field there behind. That last lap was a 67, coming through 800 meters in 2:10.
So we got Tate up front, leading the guys through. Woody Kincaid, Kieran Tuntavate on there. You see Brendan Gregg running there for the Hansons, Brooks Hansons in the yellow singlet. And we've got a couple BTC Elite guys in there too. Julian Henniger letting the hair flow. Liam Mayrow.
Yeah, and don't forget about Upsa Ali in there, who won the 2018 steeple for the University of Minnesota.
That's right. Great race.
Mm-hmm. Incredible race. So obviously a lot of talent in here as he's sticking right on there.
And that was a 2:42 through that first K.
Mm-hmm.
So Woody's still on the pace. Tuntavate on the pace.
Yeah.
I think this could be a PR attempt for Tuntavate too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like we have three very distinct packs right now shaking out, and we'll see if that chase pack is going to be able to catch up to our three leaders and pacer up there.
64 seconds through that lap there, 3:14 at 1,200 meters.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So getting back on that pace after they slowed a little bit in the second lap. Mm-hmm.
So Tuntavate, personal best listed here. Listen to these. 13:57 is his personal best for 5,000 meters. 27:17 personal best for 10,000 meters. That doesn't really compute, so he's got to notch that down a little bit tonight.
Yeah, I think he's looking to PR a little bit, especially if he hangs with his teammate Woody Kincaid up with this front pack here. He's been having a great year.
Hang with Woody. Evan Jagger will show Woody the ropes in the hair department. Woody will show Tuntavate the ropes here on the track.
Equally important things.
You know this as a professional athlete. You got to take care of your image. You got handlers, maybe. Do you have your PR person that you have to consult with?
Well, I mean, I'm just going off a hair standpoint here. I think all these guys have better hair than I have. So, I mean, that's the most important thing at this point. Last lap was a 65 coming through a mile in 4:19. So these guys are right on pace.
So this is roughly the same pace as the first heat of the 5,000 that we saw earlier today. That was the top heat, so that's the one that that everybody has been wanting to watch. And now the second heat, we'll see. Could this go faster? I don't know.
Well, I think when you get people of such a high class, even in both heats, you're going to be able to see great races coming out, whether it's the first or the second heat. And I think that's the large discussion nowadays, especially as we lead into the trials of if second heats can come and take somebody's lunch money.
And yeah, like we said, in the 5,000 meters, it'll be interesting to see who steps on the line for that for the 5,000 in the trials, and who steps on for the 10,000, who goes for those, and who tries that double that Nick was talking about earlier. Woody might be one of those guys.
Yeah. Now back on camera, we see that Grant Fisher has caught up to this lead pack. He's just off the back of Absa Ali and making sure that he's staying up in it, sticking his nose in this race, trying to say, okay, we're going with this.
So you made a decision. There's a clear distinction between this front pack of 5 now and the pack following them. This pack is rolling on mid 1320s pace here. Woody Kincaid following the pacer, 64.5 for that lap.
Yeah, it looks like Grant Fisher just put together a 63 for that last lap to catch back up. It's so much of these races is making sure that, okay, like, I need to get in this race, stay in it, and that's really essential to running a fast time, is saying, okay, let's hop on the train.
Yeah, and the rabbit steps off. Woody to the front now, and we're getting some AC/DC over the loudspeakers. So looking at Woody's hairdo, I know this is doing something for him right now. We'll see if he wants to keep pushing the pace.
That was another 65 for that last lap, coming through 6 laps in 6:29. So Woody's doing a lot of the work right now. We'll see if any of his Bowerman teammates are going to be able to share the load here.
So 2,400 meters in 6:29, 13:13.5 pace is 6:21. So in the first race they weren't quite on that, but these are pretty evenly split 5Ks here. So I'm just happy we're treated to another hot race here in the Electric Forest before we close out the night.
Got to make the most of the time that we're given here. At the lead of the chase pack here, we have Brendan Gregg just off camera with Brooks. See if they can maybe catch up to this lead pack that we have going here.
Brendan Gregg, Stanford athlete, former Davis Senior High School athlete from Davis, California. His dad is a legendary coach there, Bill Gregg at Davis Senior. Oh, we got a point. We got a point here. What's going on?
It'll be interesting to see if Woody is doing this in order to help his teammates. He seems like he's talking. He seems pretty comfortable with his pointing and gesturing as he's coming around that curve of the track.
A confident Woody is a dangerous Woody. And nobody is really sure what Woody's ever thinking. But Woody is very sure of himself. So, I mean, that's true in trivia responses and in hot takes on different professional sports. So 8:08 through 3K. So they're only 4 seconds behind the first heat that came through in 8:04 for 3K.
Yep.
But Woody on the gas right now.
We've now traded out Kieran Tuntavate for Grant Fisher, right behind Woody Kincaid here, and Absa Ali just right off the back of that, keeping this first group nice and strong. It looks to see that Kieran Tuntavate is in no man's land between that lead pack and chase pack.
Yeah, that chase pack being led by Brendan Gregg there, and they've got their eyes on Tuntavate. But out front, it's all Woody Kincaid and Grant Fisher and Absa Ali. So 66 for that lap and 8:41 through 2 miles, 3,200.
Woody Kincaid is just an absolute metronome tonight. He's hitting all of his splits exactly, and I'm sure that the men behind him appreciate that very much.
And looking at the way this is shaping up, too, I know that neither Woody Kincaid or Grant Fisher wants to lose this race to their teammates. So Woody doing all the work up front and letting Grant Fisher sit there But is he going to let the pace slow to 72s again just to save the kick against his own teammate there?
Yeah, obviously we have Grant Fisher, an enormous amount of credentials coming out of Stanford, just really a class of the NCAA system and now moving into the pro field. But don't discredit Woody Kincaid, his credentials here too. I think that's the thing about Bowerman is everybody on this team has an enormous amount of talent, and you're not only competing against your competitors on the track, you're competing against your own teammates.
Wild Woody Kincaid. Able to throw out a lot of speed off a very little knee drive as well.
As personally, as a shuffler, I very much appreciate Woody Kincaid's ability to absolutely haul while slightly shuffling around the track there.
It's possible out there. It's possible for all you shufflers.
It's possible. There's hope for us yet.
All right, we're getting a look here. This is Brendan Gregg coming in, but the pace is getting going for this front pack.
Kieran Tuntavate has now dropped back to this chase pack with Brendan Gregg. And then we have some more packs stringing out here as well.
And let's get back on that front pack with Woody Kincaid. There we go. Woody Kincaid and Grant Fisher. Now this is a tandem, a solo effort for the Bowerman Track Club. And what's going to happen here? This is going to be a showdown at the end because I don't think either one is just going to hand it to the other one here.
No, neither of these guys is going to go quietly into the night. It'll be a battle. They're definitely working together now, and it seems like they're trying to help make the most of this race, but they're going.
That was the fastest lap of the race, 64 seconds there. And you know all of their teammates. Woody pulls out to the side, letting Grant Fisher go here. Yeah, you know all of their teammates are watching on here. Maybe they're placing side bets, seeing how this is going to unfold.
This is an interesting move, though, with Woody giving Grant Fisher that little bit extra, the kind of that push to go.
2 laps to go here. About 11:22, 64.2 with Grant Fisher on point now. Woody Kincaid following him, 64.8. So now Grant Fisher is stepping on the gas, and it looks like he has something. He's well within himself at this point, and Woody's got to hold on there. I know that Woody oftentimes doesn't know how much he has left and comes screaming down the home stretch. So even though there's a gap forming here, don't count Woody Kincaid out. Yeah. He's the guy that you can never count out when he's on the track.
Yeah, I think what we've seen tonight, too, though, is just a great display of teamwork here. Woody Kincaid really helping pull his teammates here as they run a 64 on that last lap, and Grant Fisher now powering through the last 100 meters.
Well, we'll see what they come through at here as they come up to the bell lap. And this is Grant Fisher with a good distance on Woody, but Woody's got his eyes up. He's trying to gather himself, seeing what he has left. About 12:23 as they reach the bell.
Grant Fisher is looking really strong as he's got about 20 meters on Woody right now, who's done the vast majority of the work this race and really showing that he's got that power to finish strong.
Look at this. 61 seconds for the penultimate lap. And Grant Fisher is turning on the jets right now. What's this last lap going to be? So they came through at 13:20 or 12:22 roughly. We know the meet record is 13:19, and this is not the top heat. This is the second heat of the Portland Track Festival. So wild things are happening in the Electric Forest. 400 meters surrounded by reality. 57 seconds for that last lap from start line to start line. And look at this. This is a 100-meter sprint. Grant Fisher looking fantastic as he comes up to the line. 13:19.5.
Wow. That was a really incredible display out there, not only of Woody Kincaid pacing his teammate through the better part of 4,800 meters, longer than that, pacing his teammate, really putting himself out there, and then Grant Fisher just absolutely demolishing those last laps in a final lap of 56.
56 seconds for Grant Fisher's final lap, and he takes Dathan Ritzenhein's meet record by 0.2 of a second, coming from heat 2.
Wow.